Been in the industry for so long, 25 years. We've built a lot of houses. We've seen how people live in them houses, and we've seen how communities live together in street after street of sardine can boxes and concrete jungle being built estate after estate, and quite frankly it's rubbish. The way people live so close to each other yet not knowing each other isn't how communities are supposed to be. It's not how we lived hundreds of years ago, and it's not how we should live today. The issues we have as individuals, as families, as communities, suffering from mental health issues, suffering from physical health issues, scared to go out in the streets. All these problems that we go through on a daily basis is just all wrong. And having seen that and lived through it and living in them sort of communities myself, I wanted to make a change. Not only do I want to make a change in the way we build, in the materials we build with, in the sustainability of the buildings we create, but also for the one family at a time. I want to make the lives better of each individual family, and by doing that we need to start with community. And that's the basis of what Milestone does. We don't start with profit, which is what most house builders do. We start with the people, and we're people centric. So we build for wellness, and we build for community, and we build for health, and we build for families, because I like the old saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and I fully believe that you need that support and you need them people around you, and you all need to believe and be driven by the same causes. And for us in our Milestone community, it's all about family and supporting each other and creating a beautiful place to live. What really inspired me is having a family, and how I wanted that family to be raised and where I wanted them to be raised. And when I started looking and living in houses with a young family, I realised that that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to be surrounded by roads and houses and people I didn't know, and a drive away to the nearest park or green space. I didn't want my kids to be growing up with drafty homes and mouldy windows and surrounded by pollution, and I wanted them to grow up in a comfortable, open plan family space where we can all enjoy our time together, where we can all enjoy being together, but still having space, our own private space. I wanted them to be surrounded by nature and healthiness and fresh air and a safe space where they could walk out my front door and come back at dark like we used to do as kids. And the fact that that wasn't around me opened my eyes quite quickly to how we are building new spaces for people. Because it's alright when you're living in a 200-year-old terraced house, but when you're in 2020, 2024 and building new estates, they're building in the same way that we did in the Victorian ages. They just look a little prettier because they're fresher. And then the more I've seen this, and the more we've grown as a family, and the more I've grown as a contractor, and the more I've researched and looked at what's available and why people build like this, it's become more and more frustrating and infuriating that people are still doing things so wrong and so badly, and they're doing it all for profit or to tick a box because we need to build more houses. And nobody's thinking about the people that are living in them houses, the families and the kids that are growing up in them houses, in them estates. As long as we've got thousands of new homes in as little space as possible and made as much money as possible, then that's fine. And I don't want to do that. I want to build homes, I want to build communities, I want to build places where people can live, and build places that create wellness and inspire healthy living and inspire good mental health, fitness, and where people can live within nature, surrounded by nature and wildlife, without destroying it, so they can live amongst it. There's no reason why to build houses we have to flatten trees or green spaces and replace it with concrete jungles. There's a methodology of incorporating the ecology and the environment into construction, and these methods exist. They're sustainable methods of building rather than bricks and mortar and more concrete and more steel. There's ways of creating energy without tapping off the grid and burning coal and all the nonsense that we've done for forever and a day. We're not reinventing the wheel with Milestone. We're taking all the elements that are already there, all the good stuff, and just putting it together. It's not rocket science. It's possible and everybody could be doing it. We've just chosen to put people first and the community first before the profits, and that's what makes Milestone different, and that's what's inspired me to do this, is that we can still make money we can still build houses, we can still have the environment, we can do everything that we want to do if we just put people first. And that's what's inspired me. That's what's inspired me to do this, to create this, to bring all these elements, readily available elements together and create somewhere where I want to live with my family, and where I want my children to live and grow and play and learn, and where they can then start their families, and where my grandkids will live, and more importantly, where they're all going to live healthily. They shouldn't be growing up with mental health issues and physical health issues and all the issues that seem to come with the way people live right now. I think that change can happen, and it can happen quickly if everybody just does the right thing and builds for the right reasons. The thing that inspired me to create the Milestone community is family.